In today's lesson, we're going to talk about how to tune the guitar and what are open strings. An open string is when you strum it or pluck it without touching it with the fretting hand. The reason open strings are important is that's the basic pitch of each string. It's kind of like if you walk up on the piano and you hit a note, pong, you expect to hear the note that you expect to hear. If the piano's in tune and you walk up and hit the note C, well, you expect to hear a C. If the guitar is in tune and I strike this string that's closest to my face, I should expect to hear a specific note. Now the note that I expect to hear is the name of the string. So an open string is that basic pitch of the string and it has a name. In this case, it's the note E. So every string has a name, and here are the names of your strings from the lowest sounding to your highest sounding. E, A, D, G, B, and E again. There are two E's, we call them low E and high E. The string that's closest to your face is the lowest sounding string. And the one that's furthest away, or closest to the ground, is the highest sounding pitch. So when we talk about, hey, go up a string or go down a string, we're talking about how it sounds pitch-wise, not dimensionally. So the names of your strings again are E, A, D, G, B, and E, starting on the lowest, going to the highest. There are a bunch of different ways to remember that. My favorite is the one that's really popular, Eddie ate dynamite. Goodbye, Eddie. Every adult dog grows by eating is another one. I heard one the other day. It goes from highest to lowest. Every BG dances around Europe. That one kind of made me laugh too. So anyway, E, A, D, G, B, E. Here's a little quiz. Where is your A string? Where's your B string? Here comes a trick question. You'll be able to tell it's a trick question because I'm going to arch my eyebrow in an evil manner. Where's your E string? Trick question, of course. Why? Because there are two E strings, the low E string and the high E string. We're going to talk for a second about tuning. When you play an open string, like I'm going to pluck my open E string, we should hear a specific note. The name of the string is the low E string because we should hear the note E. That's why it's the E string. Therefore, to tune, we just need to, plain and simple, make sure that that note is actually an E, so it's in tune. There are a bunch of different options for tuners. Right now, I'm using a clip-on tuner. It doesn't use the microphone on it. You can use the mic, but most of us will just place it on the headstock like this and use what they call the piezo pickup, the vibration pickup, to be able to tell me whether the strings are in tune. So it's a plain matter of plucking the string. If the needle lines up on the middle point, which is the 0 point, it means your string's in tune. So whether you're using a clip-on tuner like I have right now, or a tuner where you plug in, or just a tuner that listens automatically, you want to make sure that when you're buying a tuner, get an automatic and chromatic tuner. You're not going to pay that much more for the automatic or chromatic functions. Automatic means it will just listen for the note that you're playing and go, oh, that's an A flat. That's exactly how it talks, by the way. Your tuner will talk to you. Hey, that sounds like an A flat. Chromatic means it picks up every note in the musical spectrum, so whether it's an A or an A flat or an A sharp. So to illustrate the point of how to tune, I'm going to detune my guitar. Makes me feel like a rebel. I'm so rebellious, I play without a tuner. Check it out. Atonal. So the low E string is now out of tune. It should be the note E. And if we pluck the string and that note, if it says E in the little window, then at least we're on the right note. There it is. And if you'll notice, it's way, way far, almost off the meter to the left, which means that it's very what we call flat or too low. The pitch is too low. What we're going to do is I'm going to tighten the string. I'm going to tighten the string a little bit. I like to only adjust the tuning peg while it's still ringing so I can watch the note climb. So the meter's little by little going to start moving off to the right until eventually it's going to line up in the middle of the screen, which is where we are eventually going to be in tune to the note E. And there it is. The next string should be the note A because it's the A string. Therefore, plug the string, it says A. Now this time, the needle is way too far to the right. So I'm going to lower it or loosen the string down to the 0 point, which means it will be, there it is, in tune. And there's the note D, the D string. Again, it's off to one side. I detuned it to show you how to do this. And we're just going to tighten it up until it gets to the middle point. The main point we want to make when you're tuning is make sure that, first of all, the note you're expecting is what's reflected in the window. Oftentimes people will come to me and say, Dave, it's out of tune. You sound like poo, but it should be in tune. The mistake they're making is they don't check to make sure it's on the right note in the first place. The window, if we're doing the E string, might say F, which is not obviously an E. So they get it lined up in the middle for an F, but we don't want the note F, we want the note E. So you want to make sure that it's the actual note in the window of the tuner, and then you get it centered on the 0 point, which brings the guitar in tune. Once it's in tune, you should be good to go. There is one more thing I want to say about tuning. If your strings are fairly new, the metal in the strings is going to stretch. It just is. Don't be surprised if you tune it and then you come back 10 minutes later and go off to grab a sandwich, go off, grab a bite, come back, oh, it's out of tune.